How are you today? Welcome to the video. I am so excited. It is one of my favorite, actually, I think this is my the favorite class of the month. I love teaching new techniques and being able to join you here on YouTube live. If you're with me, let me know you're here. I'd like to say hello and do a shout out to you. Thank you for coming by. I love teaching techniques, stamping techniques. People ask me all the time, are there enough techniques? Do you ever run out of techniques? And I have to say, no. There are so many things you can learn in the stamping world. There's always something new to learn. And I keep learning. Even after 22 years, it'll be 23 years in October that I've been a demonstrator, I am still to this day learning. Hi, Cindy. Hello, hello. I'm just going to turn on my computer here. Hopefully you can see me. Hello, hello, everybody. Hi, Gail. Good morning to you. It's morning here in Calgary, Alberta. I realize that many of you may be watching the replay. Maybe you're watching me from around the world. It could be a different time frame. Hello, TJ. It says ET, but I know that's you, TJ. Hi, Leslie. Good morning to you. How are you? Hello, Marie. Twice, morning, twice sweet. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. If you're wondering what that means, every morning over on my Facebook page, my Stamping with Rose Facebook page, I go live at 9 a.m. Mountain Time every single morning, Monday to Friday, and I bring a new card or project to you. Sometimes I do scrapbook pages. I love scrapbooking. That is something that's near and dear to my heart. Memory keeping is something very important to me, for my family, for my children, to capture those memories and to be able to write in the journaling boxes what's happening, when it happened, so that we can go back and flip through those albums. This is something that I love, love, love to do. And I actually have a monthly scrapbook club that meets as well on Zoom call every single month. And I love those ladies. We do two-page spreads. That's 4 12 by 12 layouts every single month. My classes are free in exchange for your order. So they're offered to Canadians. You can get the kits in the mail and you can join me live. Hi, Krista. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Just trying to get my chat up here. Let's see. Click the live button. Bear with me for a second as I just try to get the chat up here so that I can read your comments as I go. It's very small here on my phone screen, but I'm going to look it up here on my computer and see. Okay, I see. There I am. Let's turn the volume down so we don't have any kind of reverb happening here. Okay, I can see you, and it's bigger print, bigger font. That's always important. Hello, Lori. Hello, Polly. Good to see you. Thank you all for being here with me. It's a beautiful day here in Calgary. I'm wearing a sundress, but it is chilly in the basement here, so I put on my sweater to keep warm. Just waiting for people to pop in and we're going to get started. So this is a monthly technique club that my friend Christine Bertram in the United States and I collaborate on. So if you are from the United States, you can reach out to Christine Bertram. And she told me yesterday, she let me know she has 2 kits left for this class. Okay, so if you like what you see today and you want to get these kits, reach out to Christine. We can only do business with customers in our own country. That is a Stampin' Up! Rule. It's not our rule. But the same goes for Canadians. If you like what you see today and you want to join this class, you can get the card kit sent to you by mail by placing a minimum $40 order in Canada before shipping and tax. But you do need to let me know that that's what your order is for. Okay, we don't have a host code anymore, so you don't need to worry about putting in any long, complicated code or anything like that. All you do is make sure that you're shopping with me. So double check the shopping cart when you're checking out. Make sure you're shopping with Rosemary Coleman. My official name is Rosemary, my legal name, but most people call me Rose. So make sure you're shopping with me, and then I will get an email notification of your order. But I do need you to let me know. Maybe send me a message, drop me a line, email, however you like to communicate. Just let me know that, and if I don't hear from you, I'll reach out to you and say, hey, thank you for the order, and just confirm that you are signing up for the right class. Because some people just place orders, they find me online and just place an order, and they don't even know that I offer these kits in the mail. So I want to make sure that you're getting the right kit for what you would like. All week long, I do a video every single morning, Monday to Friday, and those kits are 5-card kits, and they are free with a minimum $60 order. And you do need the product of the week to be able to complete your cards, because I cannot send stamped images. That is another Stampin' Up! Rule. So you will need to have your own stamps. And the same thing goes true for this class. So for this class, you will need to have, if you want to make your cards exactly like mine, I do invite you to change your stamps if you'd like, but I will be using the Sweet Blooms stamp set. So this is one, if you want to make it exactly like mine, you'll need the Sweet Blooms stamp set. For this class, Christine and I and all of our helpers, we send you all of the die cuts, okay? So you can change up your greetings. You can change up the florals if you have another floral set at home. You are free to substitute whatever you see fit to make your cards. So today, hi, Donna. Donna says, hope the weather is good in Canada. It's cold and rainy in Ohio. We have a beautiful sunny day here in Calgary, but it is a bit cooler, definitely cooler than I experienced last week in Disney World. Oh my goodness, it was super hot down there. I went for my walk this morning and I actually wore a toque because it was only 3 degrees when I first started out. So we got a little bit of warming up to do to get to summer, but it was a nice little break I got last week and got to enjoy some of the nice, beautiful Florida heat. Okay, so one thing that Christine and I love to do for our collaborated class here is to do a shout out, a little roll call of all the people that are signed up for this class so far. We do have, as I mentioned, Christine has 2 kits left. I have 4 kits left for this class. So if you'd like that, you can reach out to me, place your order in my online store, and I can get these kits sent off to you. Now, we are facing a potential Canada Post strike tomorrow midnight. So I will be getting some mail out today, and I'm praying that this is not going to be a replay of what we had in the fall before Christmas, but there is no way to know what's going to happen. So I will send the kits. I will reach out to you to let you know they're mailed. And then going forward, I may have to use a different provider. I do have an account with some other different shipping providers. So we'll see how this goes. But regardless, you will get your kits from me sooner or later. You will, and you'll be able to create these cards at home at your leisure. Using this video as a replay, you can stop, pause, fast forward, rewind, and do these cards at your own pace, right? That's the fun part of it. So you can sit back today and relax and enjoy the video, and then do your cards later when you get your card kits, or if you have your card kits, maybe even you want to watch right now just to kind of get a feel for what we're doing, and then come back and watch the replay and do them with me. Okay, let's do a roll call. I have a list here of Christine's ladies who are signed up for this class. Thank you all for signing up for this one. Christine and I appreciate you so much. And the first person on my list is Mary Jo Stoll. Then we have Sandy Coy Emery, Angelique McClendon, Becky Rower, Faylene Mays, Linda Scott, Leslie McMinn, Kelly Gibson, Karen Woods, Julie Bontreasure, Barbara Rudolph, Vicky Rodriguez, Lynn Beasley, and Carla Lake. And again, Christine has 2 kits left only for this class. From my ladies in Canada, we have Amanda Woods, Dawn McMillan, Kim Campbell, Penny Lane, Kim Baraclow, Colleen Winter, Debbie Smith, Candace Oliver, Alexina Walsh, Penny Martin, Gail Stefan, Linda Norman, Krista Smith, Marie Lefevre, Kathy Clark, Kathy Slager, Jen, Bernice Panchishin, and TJ Mainville. And if I've missed anyone, please reach out and let me know. Sometimes my list is not up to date because I may have had someone join last minute, but super excited. Hi, Donna. I too am in Ohio. Oh, Terry is talking to Donna. Okay. Just looking at the comments here. Sometimes I miss your comments. Hi, Terry. I'm so happy you found me live as well. And I hope you like this video. We are going to be starting right away here with our technique. And the technique that I'm doing this month is called the Joseph's Coat technique. Now, this one has been around for a little bit, and I've tried it in the past, and it is such a striking technique. The final product is really super sharp, and yeah, I think you're going to like this one. So for this class, I'm using the Sweet Blooms, right? I'm actually using Florals and Blooms, the entire suite. So we're using the designer series paper, the dies, the stamps particularly are from this one. I like to limit myself to one stamp set so that when I tell my club ladies which ones I'll be using, they don't have to buy 5 different stamp sets. They can get by with one stamp set, but I am free to send them the die cuts from other stamps and other bundles. So that's how this works. Okay, so we're going to use Sweet Blooms. If you're gathering your materials, you're going to need a heat tool. You're going to need your Versamark ink pad, clear embossing powder. You can use any colors that you want. I'm going to be using 3 of the new in colors for the background of my technique. And I'm going to be using also Petunia Pop, Granny Apple Green, Versamark, Memento, and yeah, and I will explain as I go. Alrighty, let's flip the camera. I'm just gonna move my class list out of the way here. And we're gonna flip the camera and point you down at my work surface, and we will get going here. Alrighty, I'm gonna keep one eye on my computer screen in case you have questions or comments. Please, please, please put them in the chat box. I will watch for them and get back to you as soon as I see them. Okay, here we go. We're gonna flip the camera, and you guys are sharing where you are located. I love that. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you watching the video, whether you're watching me live here. It is May 22nd, 2025, 10:30 in the morning here in Calgary, Alberta. So if you're watching the replay, this is, I just wanted to announce the date so that you know when this video was filmed. Okay, let's flip the camera and get started here. Here we go. Okay, pointing you, there's my backyard. We're gonna tip you down here. Bear with me as I straighten up my camera. And there's a look at my glass mat studio. I love the glass mat studio. It is a game changer. It has been a game changer in my craft room to allow me to be able to stamp very efficiently on this glass mat surface. It is a perfect stamping surface. Everything wipes off it. I'm going to say that everything because I haven't found anything yet that does not wipe off the surface. I love, love, love my glass mat studio. Okay, so let's see if I can straighten a little tiny bit more here and get you all lined up so you can see, have the best view of my desk so you can see what I'm doing. Alrighty, so we're playing with Sweet Blooms. This is the stamp set we're going to use today. But the Florals in Bloom suite includes, when you buy the entire suite, you're going to get this bundle as well as Pretty Florals. Oh my goodness, Pretty Florals is absolutely stunning. Hi Becky, thank you for being here. Pretty Florals, there's the bundle number. Prices, of course, are in Canada. That's where I am. But you're going to get both of these in the suite, and it is a perfect time to join the Stampin' Up! Family right now and add all of this stuff to your starter kit. And then you're going to be able to enjoy your discount going forward. There are no strings attached to that starter kit, and the deal ends on May 31st. So we've got just a little bit over a week left, and I highly encourage you to jump on that amazing deal. In Canada, you get to choose $220 of whatever you want. You customize your own kit, but you're only going to pay $135 Canadian with no shipping and no tax in most provinces. It is unbelievable, that deal. You also get a paper pumpkin kit in your starter kit. So there's a lot of things that you can put in that starter kit and customize your very own kit. This one here, for example, if you put this entire suite in your kit, you're going to be able to enjoy. Let me bring in the catalog and show you, because it doesn't do it justice here. Let's see. On these 2 pages here, it shows your 2 bundles. It shows your in color flat pearls. This is the designer series paper we're playing with today called Florals in Bloom. You're going to get all of this, and the cost is only $168 in Canada. As I mentioned, you can go up to $220 in Canada. So that means you can add another almost $50 worth of product on top of this suite to your starter kit. And it's going to be a game changer. Honestly, it has changed my life. So I want you to join and be a part of all the fun. Okay, so if you've received your kits, you're going to want to grab your 3 card kits. Now, the first one I'm going to start off with is a cloud cover. Cloud cover is one of our new in colors. It's your cloud cover card base. Okay, so we've got this kit here. I just pulled it out of the envelope, and let me show you. Gently open your card kits because these have die cuts already to go. There's some little fine detailed ones. We've got some of that gorgeous designer series paper. Let's take a look at these die cuts. I like to bring out my silicone mat to hold everything down. So I'm going to pull in these little blooms here. So we've cut these blooms using the dies that come with the Pretty Florals bundle. So check it out. You've got your stamps, and then you've got your dies that go with it. I want to show you, I like to show you which dies I've used for this card. So this one right here, it cuts out 3 of these background blooms in fresh freesia. So we've got 1, 2, 3. They all cut out. I love that Stampin' Up! Is doing this. They make these dies with like triple blooms, right? So it's easier to cut, and it's less tiny little dies for us to keep track of. And then the detail on top, we're going to use, I've cut these ones out of Petunia Pop. So here they are, the 3 detailed dies. That was cut using this die right here. Okay, so I just want to share that with you in case you're home and you've got your dies and you're like, which ones did Rose use on her video? I want to share that with you. And this one right here is our stem, and that's cut out of Granny Apple Green cardstock. Okay, so that's where all of this is coming from. All right, so let's get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is actually do some gluing. We're going to glue these flowers together, and I want to share some little tips with you. Way I found this the easiest to glue these together. So we're going to just bring in my liquid glue. I'm going to add a little tiny dab of glue to the bottom of these background flowers. So just a little bit. The Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue goes a long, long way. So I'm just adding a little touch to the bottom of those flowers. Then I'm going to take my stem, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to add a little touch of glue to the top of these leaves here. Okay, so there's all the gluing I need for this part of the card. So then what I want to do now is bring in, I call this like my best friend in the craft room. This is my take your pick tool. It is a game changer. It has this little putty end here at the end, and I'm going to use this to pick up these little accents. And you can tell they're all different sizes, so I'm going to take a look at my bloom. So we've got this bloom over here, and it's a wide bottom. Okay, so it's got like a big bum. Okay, so it's wide. So we're going to grab this one here, which is wide. We're going to lay that right on top. See that? So easy to pick things up with the putty end of this take your pick tool. Then we're going to grab this one here is wider than that one. This one's more of a narrow arc on it. So we're going to take this one, we're going to put it right on here, and then this one on here, and boom, those are all done. Now we're going to leave those blooms where they are. We're going to pick up the stem, and we've got 3 tops here. Now they are going to, your floral blooms will overlap a little bit, and that's okay. So we're just going to grab, it really doesn't matter which one you go for first. I'm going to grab my center one. There it is. And then I'm just going to lay this down on here and pick up that one. And then third and final one right there. Now, did you see how quick and easy this triple floral bloom came together? So easy with the amazing dies from Stampin' Up! I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, so this is going to go on to, we have This is a new color. This here is Secret C, one of the 5 in colors. Thanks, Marie. Hello, Margaret. Hello, Becky. So this is going to go on to this beautiful Secret C background. Secret C, you guys know if you watch me regularly that I absolutely love Mel Mambo in black, but Secret C is another gorgeous dark color that's going to make all the other colors pop, right? And that's what this is about. So we're going to take our bloom and we're just going to flip it over and we're going to add some glue to the back, a little bit on each bloom, and just touch onto the leaves like that. And then this is going to sit on that Secret C background, and this is going to make these florals just pop. Tap that down, and there we go. We've got our front focal piece. Okay, I'm going to let that sit there for a second. And thank you, Terry. I appreciate that. Let's take a look at our card base. So we got a little bit of a bookbind going on here. So we're going to fold our cloud cover card in half. And I'm going to grab my bone folder and we're going to burnish that score line, the center score line. And you can see there's another score line right here. I'm going to take the front of our card and fold it back on that second score line to create the binding for this bookbind fold. So we're just going to use some liquid glue and we're going to just come in here and add a little bit to the spine like that. Okay. And we're going to close that down, and you can apply some pressure and let that set. Then we're going to go back to the front. We've got a piece of the Florals and Bloom DSP with the cloud cover pattern with the stripes. That's going to go on the binding of our card here. So just add a little bit of glue to that and put that right on to the left side here. Just making sure you got even space all the way around like that. Okay, and then this beautiful pattern here, we're going to use that on this side. It's going to allow all of those gorgeous colors to pop. The cloud cover makes a gorgeous neutral background to allow the DSP to sing, and I really truly feel like this DSP sings. Now, if I flip it over, there is some gorgeous greens on here too, but I really want the florals on my card. So we're going to flip this over and add a little bit of glue and put this on the front of the card. Okay, so we're putting it right here. I'm gonna line that up and making sure that I'm lining it up with the DSP next to it, like on the spine there. I wanna make sure we're, not too high, not too low. Okay, so there's the front. Look how pretty this comes together. I mean, it's just DSP, but as I said, it sings, right? Okay, this one, now we'll go back to our flowers. This is gonna sit at the front. So we're just adding liquid glue here. Now I'm very conscious of not making my card too thick. So I just want to use liquid glue because we've got a lot of layers going on here. If you count up the layers, we got the back of our card, the front of our card, the DSP, the Secret C, and then all the layers of these beautiful florals. So we already got quite a bit of thickness going on here. But if you want to make your card a little bit thicker, you can go ahead and use dimensionals. Totally up to you. Okay, so now we have the inside piece here to do some stamping, and we have our bling, which is our flat pearls in the cloud cover. So I'm going to put that, you know what, we're going to go ahead and put these flat pearls down. They're here. I might as well go ahead. I'm going to use the pointy end of my Take Your Pick tool to get underneath the big pearl. Flat pearls. I love that Stampin' Up! Made these flat, because it's going to take away the bulk from our card, right? I mean, when you're mailing something, you don't want it to cost you extra. It's bad enough, right? So you want to make sure your card is not too thick. Okay, so there's my third one. We're going to put that one right there. So we've scattered about those beautiful flat pearls. I'm holding them close so you can see the beautiful pearlescent shine on them. They are gorgeous. Okay, for the front of the card, we've got this piece right here. I like to lay it on my silicone mat so I can see where I'm stamping. And for this piece, we're going to stamp You Make Me Smile. I'm sure you can think of a dozen people you would like to send a card to that makes you smile, right? So we're going to use this greeting. I love the cursive font. And we're going to stamp with Petunia Pop. Okay, so we're bringing in Petunia Pop, and we're going to ink that up. Tap, tap, tap on my ink pad. And then we're going to stamp in the center of this piece of basic white, like that. And now I want to share a little tip with you on how to do angle cutting with your scissors and keep the angle on both sides, the same angle. So I'm just going to come in here, hold this in my left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm just going to take the blade of my scissors. I'm going to make one clean cut like that. So there's my angle on the right side. And instead of discarding this little triangle, I'm going to take that triangle and I'm going to put it on this side like this. So now what I'm going to essentially do is I'm going to copy the exact angle that I cut over here because I've used the scrap piece over here. So I'll hold it close. Hopefully you can see it. Pardon my inky fingers. This is par for the course, right? So I'm holding that little triangle there. Then I'm going to take the blade of my snips, my scissors, and I'm going to gently cut along the same angle of that scrap piece. And now we have the angles the same, okay, on both sides. And then again, I'm not going to put this on dimensionals. I'm actually going to just put this down. When you put this on your card, you want to be conscious of the fact that you have a score line there, right? First time I made this card, I put it over too far, and then you don't want to bend this piece. So I'm going to add a little glue, and we're just going to put this on the front of the card like this. Okay, let's pick that up. I'm going to make sure that I'm only over in this section. And if you really want to be sure, you can actually open your card and do it this way. Well, it's hard to see, but you want to make sure you're beyond that score line. Okay, so here we go. We're going to put this right here, and you've got just enough room to not go off the edge. You want to make sure that your card is still going to fit in the envelope. So there's the front of the card, and now we do the inside. So we've got this piece of basic white for the inside, and what we're going to do is we're going to stamp. I'm going to keep mine blank, but I always like to bring the colors or a piece of DSP or, the stamped images or something to match to pull it all together. So from the Sweet Blooms, we have a two-step stamp. We have this here, the greenery, and then we have the blooms, the blossoms. So I'm going to bring in some coordinating colors. Let's do Granny Apple Green for the greenery. So we'll stamp that down in the bottom right-hand corner down here. I'm going to go off the edge a little bit just to give myself lots of room to stamp, to write my message in here. And I'm going to use Petunia Pop. We're going to pull all the colors together here. And all you have to do this two-step stamp is to hover over the greenery. And it actually is very intuitive when you do this to line up the stems. So you've got 3 little stems at the top here that you can line up. And I'm focusing on those 3 at the top and the 2 at the bottom. So if you line up all 5 of those, everything else should follow suit. So let's try that and see how this works. Boom, look at that. So there we have our greenery with our little tulips attached. So beautiful, right? And it's all coordinating with the front of the card. So you make me smile. We're going to glue that inside. So there we have card number 1. So easy, right? Quick and easy, but so beautiful. The paper is the star of the show, I think, with this suite. Tell me in the comments, have you seen this suite before? Do you love this suite? Is this on your bucket list? It was one of the first things I put in my cart. I absolutely love it because this suite features all 5 in colors. And I really wanted to showcase the in colors. It is May, and it's the beginning of this annual catalog when we get brand new in colors. So there's our first one. Now, of course, you can always bring in your Wink of Stella, and you can bling up these blooms, right? I'm just going to add a touch of sparkle and shine. You can never go wrong by adding Wink of Stella and adding some extra shine to your images. You can use Wink of Stella on stamped images. You can use them on die cuts as I'm doing here. It is such a fun way. Waiting for the second part of the suite. Yes, Marie, you got to have all of parts, right? So there's a look. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on those blooms. Wink of Stella makes everything better. Shine makes everything better. Okay, so that's card number 1. Krista says, very pretty. I have the suite, but haven't played with it yet. Well, Krista, I hope I'm inspiring you to pull out your suite and get started and have some fun. Now, my next card is going to be one that uses Secret Sea. Secret Sea is a very intriguing color. When I first saw it, I was like, really? That's an in color? Like, I was a little bit like, okay, is it navy? Is it black? Is it Misty Moonlight? Oh, it's not Misty Moonlight, it's darker. I think that Secret Sea is like Memento and Night of Navy had a baby. Hi, Terry. Hello, Sherry. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Secret Sea is a very bold and elegant color, and I have paired it with all of the Stampin' Up! Colors, and it is absolutely stunning. I am falling in love with it. Secret Sea is so gorgeous. So we're going to use this one. Open up your card kit very carefully because you've got die cuts in here that we have done for you to send you so that you can enjoy the creative process of putting this card together. So you've got Secret Sea 4 1/4 by 11 scored at 5.5. Yep, Mimi says it's her Secret Sea is your new black. It's my new black too, Mimi. I love it. Love, love, love it. So we're going to put these pieces aside for a second, and we're going to work on the front of the card. First thing I want to show you is what we've done with the die cut. So let's bring back those Pretty Florals dies. These are amazing. And the ones that we're using here, hi, Elaine. Thank you so much for your comments. I appreciate that. I love these cards too, and I'm so excited to share them with you. Okay, we're using this one right here, this big bloom. Okay, and then the accent for the bloom is this die right here. So what myself and my helpers have done is we've cut out all of these for you. So here we have Timid Tiger. We have, this is an in color that came in last year. This is Pretty in Pink. And then we have the returning Strawberry Slush. Oh my goodness. Love, love, love my Strawberry Slush. Love it. And then we have the yellow, which is called Darling Duckling. So these are 3 out of 5 of the in colors. The 4th in color is Secret Sea, which we're using as a card base. And then the 5th in color is the one we used just recently on this card, right? So that is Cloud Cover. So there's a look at all 5 in colors right there on the screen. Oh, so beautiful. Alrighty, so the first thing we want to do is we're going to get my liquid glue going here, and we're going to glue these accent pieces on top of each of their corresponding flowers. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is flip these over. Always use my silicone mat whenever I'm playing with the liquid glue so that if the glue goes on the silicone mat, it doesn't make a big mess. You can just lift it off when it dries. So we're just going to add some glue to these accent parts. So I'm going to add glue to the center of each one. So easy. And our Tombow glue does not let us down, right? It's super sticky. So I'm coming in around here and I'm finding the thicker parts of the die. So these little pointy bits, I'm just going to add a little touch of that Tombow glue on the pointy bits. Technical term, right? Pointy bits. So there's like 4 of them. So that's it. That's all I'm going to add to each of those florals. And then we're going to pick each one up, and you've got plenty of space to pick it up without getting glue on your fingers. We're going to take each one and we're just going to line it up. So the way I line up these pieces is you've got like this pointy bit over here. It's arced or angled with this angle over here. And then, so you can tap that down, and then you can tilt it so that these little pieces at the top are inside. I'll hold it up closer to show you in just a second. So you don't want to have anything hanging off the front of your background die cut. So this one will go, this pointy part over here gets lined up with this side, and this one over here, and everything else follows in. And you see how that pointy bit goes lined up with the edge up here. So that's kind of how I do them. So there we go. We've got our little accent. It's all about the details, right? It's totally about the details with Stampin' Up! And these dies make it so fun. So I use my Take Your Pick tool to help pick that one up. And we'll do the same thing with our Timid Tiger. All right, so coming in here, I like to look on this side and make sure it's lined up. Tap it down with your finger, give it a second, and then you can move on to Darling Duckling. Add that to here. And turn. So I do this side here and then look at the loops. I'm calling these loops. That's kind of what they are, right? Loops, little loopy loops. All right, so there's 2, 3, and last but not least, let's do the Pretty in Pink. So gorgeous. I want to do all these flowers in all of our bright colors, our fancy flower colors, the purples, the yellows. You could even do blues. You can get blue flowers now, right? This is 2025 and we have genetic engineering. You can get flowers in just about any color combo, right? Okay, there we go. We've got our flowers done. Now what we want to do is we're going to just leave these up here for a second. We can admire them. We're going to bring in our Nested Essential. Hello, Sandy Coy Emery. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for the reminder to give a thumbs up. You can, and if you would go out and come back and subscribe to my channel so you do not miss any of the future videos, I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Okay, on here we are going to stamp from the Sweet Blooms stamp set the word bloom. Okay. And there's a couple of different combinations you can do with the word bloom. You could say, let joy bloom. That's a fun one, right? Let joy bloom. And then it could be, you could do a birthday card. If it's a graduation card or maybe a wedding card, bloom where you are planted, right? That's a really fun way to say, you know what, no matter what you do, bloom, blossom wherever you are. So I'm going to do that exact phrase. So we're going to do bloom with Petunia Pop. I'm going to ink this big word up here. Make sure you get it all inked up good. And we're going to stamp towards the top of this die cut because I want to leave a little bit of room at the bottom to stamp the words where you are planted. So bloom, there we go. And then the where you are planted, we're actually going to stamp that one using Secret C. So let's bring in my Secret C ink pad and we'll stamp that right here. Bloom where you are planted. So wherever you go, bloom. Be yourself, bloom, share your love, share your joy, share your happiness, right? Like this could mean so many things. I love it. Okay, so there's the front of my card. This is my greeting. Now you're probably wondering, what are you going to do with that single leaf? What we're going to do with that is we're going to snip it in half. This is a little cheat here. We're going to snip it right in half and no one's going to know. Well, you guys are going to know. And we're going to add some glue to it, the back of this one. Okay, we're going to put this on with dimensionals. Okay, so the greeting, the front greeting goes on with dimensionals. So we'll put right there. I'm going to put, let's see, one in the middle. And I'll explain why I'm doing this in just a second. I'm going to put one in the middle and 4 on the ends. Because these florals are going to get tucked in behind. But actually, I'm going to I think I'm going to glue them down first. Okay, so we've got that done. I'm a big fan of flipping all my pieces over and getting all the glue on them at first, and then it's easier. Once the glue is flowing, just go with it, right? So we're going to add glue to all of our flowers here and our leaves, our 2 leaves, and here's the card front. It's going to be like this. It's a landscape card. And I want to put my flowers, I'm going to put my Strawberry Slush one in the corner over here. And we're going to put Darling Duckling over here, making sure not to go off the edge of the card, of course. And then we're going to take the pretty in pink, and we're going to come down here like that. And we're going to do Darling Duckling down here. That's not Darling Duckling, that's Timid Tiger. Sorry. The orange is Timid Tiger. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our greeting and we're going to place this right over top like so. Just centering it top and bottom, side to side. And then when you're happy with the position, just press down. And now we're going to take these leaves and we're going to insert them right here. I'm going to put one right there. See what I said? No one will ever know, right? They'll never know. And we're going to put the other one right here just to pull in a little pop of green. And there we have the front, bloom where you are planted. And then we have the Secret Sea flat pearls. So we're going to put a big one right there and a medium one right there and your smaller one right there. And there we have the front. Look at how pretty this card is. And it features 4 out of 5 of the in colors. So beautiful. Okay, for the inside, we've got a bigger piece of white here. Okay, bloom where you're planted. How about we bring in a bigger piece of white so we can stamp the word lovely, right? We're going to stamp lovely. How about you say, have a lovely day? I mean, we can always wish someone a lovely day, right? So we're going to stamp that with Petunia Pop, the word lovely. I can picture so many scrapbook pages. If any of you are scrapbookers, give me a thumbs up or a yes in the comments that you are excited for these big words to use in your scrapbook pages. I am so excited to use this in scrapbooking. Okay, so lovely. There we go. And then I'm going to use Secret Sea, and we're going to stamp have a at the top here. We'll pop that in right here. Have a lovely, and then the word day. I love all of the things, the combinations you can do with this stamp set. You can spell all kinds of different words, right? So you could say, let joy bloom, and then say, have a lovely day. Yes, Mimi says, great for scrapbooks. This one's going to be fantastic. My scrapbook club ladies are going to love, love, love this one. Okay, so if you want to, you could do the same thing. You could stamp another image down here, but I'm actually liking how this looks. So we're going to put this one inside like so. And, you know, when you buy the entire suite, because I know you're going to want the entire suite, you're going to have DSP. You could add a strip of DSP on here. Hopefully everything is okay. All right, so now we're going to put this on the inside, and we have card number 2 done like dinner. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. All right, just to recap, in case you're just joining me, this was card number 1. Now we've done card number 2. Card number 3 is our technique, and we are going to be playing with the Joseph's coat of many colors with this technique card. Okay, so for the technique card, you're going to want to grab your kit that has the strawberry slush. Pardon my arms in the way. You're going to have a strawberry slush card kit. Okay, so the inside of that, let's see, let's open this very gently because you're going to have die cuts in here and designer series paper. We've got 2 strips of this beautiful paper. Okay, so we're going to use that. We've got the die cut word lovely and detailed in the strawberry slush. We have the background of the word lovely because you get both of these. Let me show you on the silicone mat. So you get the background and you also get the die that cuts the lovely in more detail, a finer detail. So those dies are with the Sweet Blooms bundle. Remember how I said you're going to get both bundles when you buy the suite? So you're going to get these words. You're going to get words with dies, and you're also going to get words with stamps, right? So it gives so many possibilities for what you want to do in your paper crafting. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take the word lovely, the fine one, the strawberry slush one, And I'm going to add some glue to the background. So you can just come in here and just add tiny little dots, and we're going to do what my friend Christine says. We're going to let this marinate. I am a big fan of putting the Tombow multi-purpose glue on these die cuts and just setting it aside, because if I were to pick this up now, I would put my fingers straight into the glue and then I'd have sticky fingers for a long time. So I'm just going to let this marinate. Okay, so I'll move it off to the side. I'm going to pick up my silicone mat, move it off to the side, and we're going to do the other part of this card, the technique part of the card. Okay, so in your card kit, you're going to have a piece of white. You're going to have some strawberry slush bling. You're going to have this little tiny perennial postage die cut that we've cut for you, your DSP. And then using the everyday arches, you've got two. You have a bigger one and then the next size down, okay? So we're going to work on the smallest size for the technique in just a second. But to put the card together, these two little flaps are going to get glued down, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to glue these down to the bottom. We're just getting everything ready here. So we'll go ahead, glue that down, hold it down for a few seconds, let the glue set. And we'll do the same thing on this side, hold it down. All right, so then we're going to add the DSP to the sides here, a little pop of color. Here we go. This one and this one. All righty, so this one goes here. And on this side. Love this. If you have strips of DSP, don't throw them out. They come in handy for this type of card style. I love it. Now this is going to be an easel card. So what we're going to do is, this is the center part. You want to take your bone folder and you really want to reinforce the score line. Okay, so there's a center score line here. I reinforce it both ways. So fold it one way, and fold it back again, and use your bone folder and make that score line crisp as possible. And even the center score line, make that crisp. This really helps the card to stand up as an easel when you're ready to display it on a mantle. So this is what we've done. We've reinforced all the score lines. Okay, so we've got this little V thing happening in the middle. Alrighty, so this piece here is going to be for the inside, and we'll get to that in just a second. But what we want to do right now is use this smaller everyday arch. Okay, so we're going to do the technique on this piece. So for this card, you're going to need 3 colors. I'm using Strawberry Slush, Darling Duckling, and Timid Tiger. And we're going to sponge some color on here. So let me just tidy up my work surface here a little bit, and we'll get started. Okay, so I've got dimensional backings. They go everywhere. Alrighty, so let's get started with our sponging. We're going to sponge a bunch of color onto this everyday arch background. Okay, so we've got all of our colors open up here. Our ink pads are ready. I've got a sponge dauber, a finger dauber for each color. Okay, and we're gonna add this color. I like to add the color with like circular motion. So I'm just gonna come in with my strawberry slush, and I'm gonna make some strawberry slush circles, and we're gonna put them close together because we're gonna try and get all 3 of these colors onto this die cut. And lots of color. Okay, so there's that one. Now we're gonna come in with Darling Duckling and add a little more color, touching close to the strawberry slush, overlapping a little bit. And remember, we have a 3rd color that we're going to be coming in here and filling in some gaps. So you can just do a little bit, and then you can come back and add more color after. So we're going to just add some more color here with Timid Tiger, like that, and fill in some more gaps, overlapping, maybe a little bit more down here, over here. And this is the fun part. You can get your grandchild, niece, daughter, nephew to help with this part. This is fun, right? Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining us. And then we're just going to come over here and add more. You can't add too much color. In fact, you don't want to have any white spots left. So we're just going to sponge around. And you know, if you're not a fan of the circles, you could do stripes if you wanted to. Anything goes at this point, right? We're just adding all the color to that background. Okay, so now what we're going to do is you want to make sure that this, I'm just going to tidy up my glass mat studio here. You do want to make sure that this is dry so you can give it a blast with your heat tool. Basically, we're going to be doing some clear embossing on here, right? We're going to do some clear embossing. So what I want to do first, I'm going to bring in my embossing buddy, and I'm going to, this is a fancy phrase for this little tool here that comes with the embossing kit. And this, the purpose of this is to get rid of any static or any kind of dust or anything that could have landed on your stamp surface. I'm using it over the top for that reason. I want to get rid of any extra bits, and even if you have oil on your fingers, you definitely want to avoid that because that's going to interfere with your embossing. So the embossing buddy is truly an embossing buddy. It's your friend. Okay, so let's move the ink pads. Actually, I'm going to close them because we're going to be doing some embossing. Joy says you haven't done this technique in years. Yeah, it's, you know, this is, I love to revisit techniques that I've done years ago. They're always new when we use new Stampin' Up! Products, right? You can revisit them because they're always applicable. And Christine and I, when we do this class, you know, we love to give our class attendees with their kits, they get, this is a good opportunity to share this with you. They get these technique sheets. So this is what the ladies received. And I know Christine does something very similar. Here's a description, and there's a sample of the technique that we're going to be doing. So the purpose of this is so that the ladies can have that in an album. They can put it on a key ring if they want to, whatever, however they want to store it. Because years and years ago when I started the Technique Club, people would say, I love the Technique Club, but then I give away my cards and I forget how to do the technique. And that really hurt my heart because I'm like, oh, you cannot forget your techniques. So that's how those little binder sheets came about. Okay, so we've got this piece here. Now what we're going to do is some embossing. And the one thing you want to remember when you're doing the Joseph's Coat technique is to choose stamps that are solid. So from the Pretty Florals stamp set, we've got a few choices here. These ones here, the solid, like the background stamps, that's what you want to go for. Something solid from your collection, okay? So I'm going to use these ones, and I'm going to stamp all over top of this colored piece with Versamark ink, okay? So sometimes it's hard to see. You may have to use the light and hold it up and see. But last night when I taught this class at Boston Pizza, I was telling the ladies, like, if you could like mentally say, okay, I'm going to start at the top of my arc and I'm going to go clockwise around, then chances are you won't double up on something, right? So let's just grab these solid stamps and get them onto a block here, and we're going to stamp them. Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to use this one actually because it's very similar to the other shape. I want to use these four stamps here. So let's grab some more blocks and we'll get these going. Maybe. Okay. Stay put. All right. So we need a block, another one right there, and I need a little guy. Okay. So make sure your Versamark ink pad is nice and juicy, and you just come around and stamp right on top of the color. There's one. And then we'll keep going here. And the beauty of florals is you can go turn them. They can be upside down. They can be sideways. I'm just holding that up to the light to see where I stamped it. So there's that one. And then I'll do this one. Hold it up to the light to see the shine. Like that. And then we'll bring this one in. We're coming around the bend here. And stamp that down. We'll do another one of these. Make sure I'm not overlapping. I'm trying not to. Let's see. Maybe we'll put one right there. I really like the shape of this one. This is my favorite flower from the set. It is the lilac or the lupin. Some people call them delphiniums. So many different options. I'm just holding this up to the light to see, did I cover it? Did I cover it? Okay, good. I'm happy with this. So we're going to first off put the lid on the Versamark pad. Ask me how that is a problem. It could be a problem. You don't want powder flying into your Versamark pad. No, no, no. So now what I want to do is grab my tray, my embossing tray. I'm going to lay this piece of cardstock right here. Or hyacinths. Yes, Terry, exactly. A hyacinth. Love it. Okay, we're going to take our clear embossing powder from the Wow embossing powder package. And we're just going to, you can dump the whole thing. You don't have to be particular, right? We're just covering the whole thing. So take your embossing powder, go to town, and tap it off. And I like to just tap the edge of the cardstock like that. And you can see, hopefully you can see that from the camera. You can see where that clear embossing powder, yeah, you can see it right there. So then you can give it a good tap to get the excess off. I can see that I have some here, like that, the little speckles, they will definitely heat up, and then you may not like that look. So give it a firm tap, a firm flick, flick or tap it off, and try and get rid of the excess. Now, if you're really particular, you can bring in your brush and you can come in here and remove some of the granules manually like this, just kind of slide them around, if you will. But I think that's pretty good. I'm really pretty happy with that. Okay, so before you turn on the heat tool, you got to deal with this. You got to deal with this, because otherwise that will go flying and you won't like that. Promise me. I promise you. Okay, so we're just taking this tray, and this is the beauty of this Embossing Essentials kit. You get the tray, you get the brush. You can brush your granules. You can sweep them down into the tray. There's a little hole at the bottom. I don't know if the camera, you can see. There's a little hole at the bottom that's going to funnel that back into your canister, and you will have embossing powder for months, if not years to come, right? You don't waste anything using this. Okay, so there's my tray. There's my brush. There's my embossing powder. There's one more thing that comes with this kit. Well, you get the embossing buddy. And you also get, your embossing kit comes today, TJ. Yes, yes, you're going to love it. You also get these reverse tweezers, which are a game changer. I use these for tying bows. These are my second hand in my craft room. I love them. I think I got some embossing powder on them. Okay. So these will save your hands, right? You're going to use these to hold on to your piece while you heat it up. So we're going to bring in the heat tool, and we're going to turn it on. I apologize for the noise, but it's essential to do this technique. So we're going to hold that I'm going to hold it in my left hand with my tweezers so I can save my thumb. I don't have to burn my thumb off. And then we're just going to heat this up. I'll hold it close to the camera. Maybe you can see when it goes from this sandy white texture to a shine, a complete shine. Okay, here we go. We're gonna just turn this on and we're gonna heat this up. There it goes. You see it? Keep on going. Okay, so there we have it. That wasn't very dramatic, right? We just went from like dry sand to a gloss. Now the magic happens. So you want to take this piece, put it down. I would recommend putting it onto your work surface, maybe onto a piece of grid paper. This would actually save me from having to clean my glass mat studio. So we're going to put this on a piece of scrap paper here. and we're going to bring in a Memento ink pad. Okay. So we're going to essentially cover this entire piece with Memento. And this is where you want to use all your elbow grease. You can take all your frustrations out if you want to, whatever, however you want to refer to it. But we're going to really add a lot of ink to this. And there's no such thing as too much ink. So we're going to use Memento. I'm going to hold this in my left hand. And I'm going to grab a piece of Kleenex just to hold this down. We're going to need the Kleenex for the next step anyway. So we're going to do this. We're going to hold that down, and we're going to take the Memento, and we're going to go ahead and swirl it all around, smudge it all around, and use all of your might. And the darker, the better. The darker you can get this to look, the better. And don't worry, because we're going to use the Kleenex to wipe off the Memento off of your flowers. So we're not ruining the flowers. We are adding this super dark, dramatic background to make those gorgeous flowers pop. And this is the essence of the Joseph's coat technique, coat of many colors. Okay, so you can see I have given it all my my muscle here to add lots of black color. Okay, so now I can put the lid on my Memento ink pad, and I'm going to take this tissue, and I'm actually going to grab another piece just to save my fingers. So I'm going to hold it down, and I'm going to take the Kleenex, and we're going to wipe. And again, you want to use your muscles and wipe vigorously to get all of the color off of the embossed images. Now, what's happening is the color from the background. Yes, Terry, I've tried it with Secret C, but I have to tell you, when I try, and you can do it with Secret C now that we have re-inkers, but in the pre-order, demonstrators did not have access to the re-inker. So I was afraid to do the technique. I didn't do my sample with Secret C, but it would work with Secret C. Yep. I really like Memento because it gives me, the darker the background, the more these flowers pop, right? So you could use Secret C, you could use Memento, and you could also use Stays-On ink if you wanted to. Stays-On ink has, it would be like you get it on your fingers, it will not come off, because Stays-On is our permanent ink, right? So I really like the look of Memento, and I have 3 Memento ink pads, so it was a lot for my club ladies to be able to have access to an ink pad. So there were a few different factors why I didn't use Secret C. Krista says you lost your inspiration. It's gone fishing. Well, I hope I've inspired you to come back and try this. I'm sorry, my head's in the camera, guys. This is a fun technique. And remember, all you need for this technique is a good solid stamp so that you can let the colors from the background shine through that clear embossing. So there's a look at my front piece. Now we're going to layer this onto the white Everyday Arches layer. Okay, so we're going to just add that with some liquid glue and put that together. Love the Everyday Arches dies. They are phenomenal. I have used them for both card making, scrapbooking. These are game changer. Add these to your collection. You won't regret it. Okay, so this is my center focal point for my card. Let's bring back the card. So this is going to be an easel card, right? So what we want to do is we're going to attach this to the front, but only at the bottom. Okay, so we've got this front panel here. Now, if you take the arches, you'll notice that they are like exactly, if you line them up flush with the bottom, they're exactly the height of the card. So you don't want it, you want to make sure you don't go off the edge, because then it won't, see how I've just popped that up there? You don't want that because it won't fit in your envelope. So make sure when you are putting this down, you're only going to put glue on the bottom portion. So that I would recommend putting the glue on the Everyday Arches like this, just a little strip at the bottom, and then line it up with the front like this at the bottom. So I'm flush with the bottom of the card. I'm looking on both sides, making sure I have even amounts over here and over here. Press that down, let that set. Does the darling duckling look greenish? Yours is quite green. I never noticed that, TJ. I'm not quite sure. Maybe on my card, does it look green? I think it looks... this is the Darling Duckling ink pad. I'm not quite sure. I will have to stamp it and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here, TJ had a question. I'm just gonna stamp this bloom here. I've got a little piece of scrap paper here. So there's my sunflower image. I don't think it looks green. It looks yellowy, mustardy. If there's a problem with your ink pads, guys, you know you can call Stampin' Up, right? They have amazing customer service. So definitely you want to call them if there's a problem. Okay, so let's finish the front of this card. The front of this card has hello on the little postage. Oh, let's bring back our dies. The ones that have been marinating over here. So you can see now I can pick up this lovely. It's stuck to my finger and it is not going to leave glue on my fingers now. So this is perfectly tacky so that I can now put this together without worrying about making any mess. So I'm going to start on the left and tap each letter down one at a time. Take your time and just go ahead. It's just like cursive writing. Start from the left and then just come around and adhere it all together. Now, if you're not a fan of using the liquid glue, you can also use, when you buy these dies, you can also add onto your order a package of adhesive sheets. They will definitely be your friend. Then all you'll have to do is just peel off the back and you've made a sticker. But I don't mind using my liquid glue. It never lets me down, and there you have it. That's how you put your words together. So we have the word lovely in this set. We also have the dies to cut out the word bloom in the same way. So if you want to, you can also, like on this card, I stamped the word bloom, but I could also use my die to line that up over top and cut out the word bloom, right? So there are like a lot of different options with these bundles, this entire suite. It is just striking. Okay, let's put this together. I'm going to flip over the word lovely. I'm going to bring in my mini dimensionals. Love, love, love the mini dimensionals. And what I'm going to do is, this is important. So when you put this on here, you're going to go off the edge a little bit. It almost fits on this front panel, but you want to be very mindful that you're not going to put glue on the edge too much on your letters, because you don't want to close your card shut, because when it opens, it's going to be like this, right? So I'm going to put my dimensionals on. There's two are stuck together there. Okay. I'm going to pick these up with my take your pick tool, and I'm going to put them where I want them. So I'll put one on the V. I'm going to put one right there on the E. And these are perfectly sized to put them where they can fit. Okay, so lovely, like that. I was debating whether to put one on the L, and I am going to. I'm going to go ahead and put that there. And then let me just make sure. So that's going to be stuck like that. And there's room on the Y. Yes, I just want to make sure, double checking that I'm not sticking my card shut. And put one right there. Okay, so you can see I'm using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dimensionals to pop up this word, and I think it's going to be just fine. That's going to be plenty to anchor this word properly. Alrighty, so let's put the word lovely right across here like that. There we go. Okay, there's my lovely. Now you want to say hello, lovely, right? So where did my little die cut go? Here it is. This little guy here. We're going to stamp the word hello using Timid Tiger. So we're pulling in all the different colors. So there's the word hello down here. So let's grab that. Do I have it on a block? Yes, I do. Okay, so we're going to stamp hello with Timid Tiger. Timid Tiger. stamp that right in the center of this perennial postage die cut. And then we're going to keep that with the rest of the theme of the card of the front being popped up. We're going to add 2 regular size dimensionals to that one here and one here. Alrighty, there we go. We're going to put that right up top of the lovely, hello lovely. Yep, Sherry, this is our technique card. It is a fancy card. Fancy, fancy. Okay, and the inside, we're going to use, we're going to use that stamp again, the one that says, you make me smile. Hello, lovely. You make me smile. Okay, so we're going to wipe off my ink. Let's use a baby wipe here. Had one in front of me. And we're going to stamp that using, you could use strawberry slush if you want to. I'm going to bring in, thanks, Gail. I'm so happy you like these cards. I hope you have a blast making them. We're going to stamp this right here, like that. You make me smile. Pardon me. Now this is going to go inside right here. And we're going to add that with liquid glue. A little bit of liquid glue. And then we have just the bling to do. And the bling is going to serve a dual purpose. We're going to use the bling strategically to make an anchor for this easel card, because you can see it doesn't really want to stand up. It wants to slip down. So when you have your bling here, and we've got some strawberry slush bling, I'm going to take the biggest one and I'm going to put it right up here at the top. Now, if you want it to sit higher, you could put your bling on a glue dot or on a dimensional, but I'm pretty happy with how that anchors it right there, just like that. They are called flat pearls, so they're not going to be too thick. I'm okay with having that on the inside of my card like that. It's not going to make too bulky. And then you can take your 2 additional gems or your flat pearls, and we're going to put them on the front of the card. Let's put one right here and one down here in the open space. And there we have it, my friends. We have so many beautiful, beautiful images that are coming through in this month's class. This is our Joseph's Coat technique. It's an easel card that sits like this. There's the side profile, and it will fold flat. Thank you, Krista. I'm so happy you like these cards. So happy. Let's bring them all back into the camera here. And there we have it. So many beautiful, vibrant, happy colors featured in this suite. And the new in colors are just stunning. I'm so in love with them. And I really want to thank you for coming to join me here today to watch the video. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching. This is a super fun class. I'm going to flip you back around here. This is a super fun class that Christine Bertram and I collaborate on, the Technique Club class, and it is my honor to join you here every month to teach this class on YouTube. And hello from Edmonton. We'll have to watch the replay. Yes, Amy, I hope you enjoy the replay. These are all current products in the new 2025 to 2026 annual catalog. And this particular bundle, suite, is called the Florals in Bloom, and it features all 5 of the in colors, and I'm so smitten with all of them. So I want to thank you again for joining me today. And if you have any questions, please pop your questions below this video. I will be watching for them, and I'll do my best to answer all your questions and to support you with making your cards and having a really successful experience with the Joseph's Coat technique. I hope you enjoy this one. And I hope you'll come back and join me again in the future for another fun videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and Christine's channel as well. Christine's here with me, and we love to bring you all of these fun ideas. So take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time for another technique. Bye for now. If I can figure out how to... Boop. There we go.